Hi, I'm Chet and welcome to an all-new episode of Chet Chat. This month, we're focusing on giving back to the community and some fun events at the Audubon Zoo. We have some great furnishings in our design time and do-it-yourself time. So guys, you don't want to miss this. Let's do this. Design Show, Chet Chat. Design Show, Chet Chat.
I'm Chet Show, and I've got designs. I'm Chet Show, and I've got designs. I'm Chet Show, and I've got designs from New Orleans. I'm Chet Show on LAE. I'm Chet Show on LAE. Chet Chat on LAE. Chet Chat on LAE. I'm Chet Show, and I've got designs from New Orleans.
Guys, my first guest is proving he is a saint both on the field and off the field. Here to discuss an amazing organization, What You Give Will Grow, is local Saints punter Thomas Morstead. Thank you so much for being here, sir.
Thanks for having me, Chet.
You know, first of all, before we get into what you do off the field, we have to talk a little bit about what you do on the field. So everybody knows and loves you as the New Orleans Saints punter. So have you always wanted to play professional football?
Growing up, I wanted to be a professional basketball player, but I was kind of short growing up, and so that
short?
Yes, I grew really late in high school, so that dream faded pretty quick. And I just kind of fell into it. I was a soccer player and basketball player my whole life, and I just went out for my football team in high school my senior year and enjoyed it. And then I tried out in college, and then I kind of developed and matured in college, and probably started thinking about the NFL about my third year of college, that maybe I could do that.
When did you realize, like, I'm really good at this?
Probably right around my second or third year of college. I hadn't even played quite yet, and I just, you know, felt like I was the best guy on the team, and I hadn't even played yet. And then after I played my first year of college football, I remember thinking at the end of the year that, you know, I felt like I was more talented than any other punter that we had faced that year. So that's kind of when it started.
Okay. So we're Facebook friends. And I
Yes.
know you do a lot of great things with nonprofits, especially with a lot of kids nonprofits. Tell me why that is so important to you and your wife.
Well, I would say two things. Number one is, you know, I tell people when you move to New Orleans, you kind of get sucked in if you really open up to the city. And, you know, my wife's 2 weeks away from giving birth.
Congratulations.
And, thank you. And you know, we're talking about living here for the long term now, and I think the more you soak yourself in here, the more you become personally invested in it. I think we really want to give back to this community that's afforded us a great life. And then the other thing is just growing up, you know, I had great parents, and they go to every game, and you know, I just feel like I can't imagine not growing up with that type of support system and family, and a lot of kids. There's a lot of need here, not only in Louisiana but specifically in New Orleans. There's a lot of need, a lot of kids that don't have the resources to grow up and be successful. So
yeah, so you have now started your own nonprofit.
Yes.
So tell us about that, because that's pretty exciting.
It's called What You Give Will Grow, and it comes from an old coach of mine back in college. His name was Frank Gans, and he used to tell us, what you give will grow, and what you keep, you lose. And it was kind of a pay it forward type of attitude, and it just really stuck with me. And I've been wanting to do this for about 2.5 years, and I actually opened a donor advised fund at the Greater New Orleans Foundation about 2 years ago, and have been raising money through that. But you're limited with the resources to be able to fundraise, and I know with my platform with the Saints and how much this city loves a team, that you know, I can really step my game up in that area and hopefully raise some big money for some good causes here in New Orleans.
That's awesome. Now, before we went on, you was telling me there's a way that if you get involved in your nonprofit that you could pay it forward. Tell us about that, because I think that's a really great concept.
Well, we have these T-shirts that they'll be on the website here in the next 2 weeks. That on the T-shirt you get these little Sprout packets. The T-shirt brand is called Sprout 6, and in these seed packets they have little Go Give cards, and they're basically a system of tracking good deeds in the community, and each card has its individual tracking number. So when you buy a shirt, then you'll get 6 of these, because we're playing on my number 6. And if you do something nice for somebody, you can hand them that card, and they'll read it, and they'll go on the site, and they'll track their number, and say how they got this card. And you can go back in a week or a month or a year, type in that tracking number, and you can see from doing one nice thing for somebody how that treed out into all these good deeds for people doing stuff in the community. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really great. You also said that, you know, I asked you if your parents were encouraging you to do like good nonprofit work. You said your mom always encouraged you and told you 3 things, and I was really intrigued by that. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it was actually in church. It was, she used to do Bible study for the kids, and it just really stuck with me. I remember I was about 13 or 14 when she said it, and she said, if you always share, care, and encourage others, you live a pretty good, happy life. So I thought that was pretty cool, and it's just kind of stuck with me. So I love that saying.
That's awesome. So what do you want people to get out of your nonprofit? What do you want people to know about Thomas Morstead's nonprofit?
Well, a couple things. The rule for the nonprofit is we're getting a whole bunch of companies jump on board as sponsors and provide their services pro bono. You know, to run your own nonprofit, you got to have CPAs and accounting and bookkeeping. You got auditing,
kind of a staff,
insurance for events, and all these different things. But because of the platform I have, some of these companies they're all wanting to jump on board and do these services pro bono, just to be sponsors, which is great. So the rule for the foundation is going to be 100% of the money that's raised is going to go back in the community.
That's awesome.
So that's pretty cool, and you know, it's exciting to be able to market that and to show people that, hey, you know, you just because you're buying something or just making a donation, that we're not raising $1 to only give 50 cents back out. $1 in is $1 out, so that's pretty special. Also, it's that, you know, like I said, I play here in New Orleans, and I feel like it's a responsibility and an obligation to give back to this community. You know, Steve Gleason once told me, as much as you love New Orleans will love you back 10 times more.
I couldn't agree with that 100% more.
Yeah, and it's been so true. I mean, people here are great, and they've just shown me so much love and support, and they love their Saints, you know, so it's pretty cool. And so anyways, I'm hoping that people will realize that they can come out when we have events down the road.
Do you have an event coming up soon that we can talk about?
We don't. We are in the process of organizing all this, structuring it the right way, and but people will keep everybody posted. I'm sure we'll have something pretty quick here. But is for people to realize that it's not just about financially giving. It's, you know, we're gonna be volunteer driven, and
which is sometimes even more important.
No doubt, no doubt, because it's all about getting in the spirit of giving, whether it's your time or your money or your resources. And you know, that's one of the philosophies behind What You Give Will Grow. It's not only you're doing nice things for others, but it's going to grow in your own life. You know, so that's kind of how that goes.
Okay, if viewers want to get involved with your nonprofit, how would they go about doing that?
You would just go to whatyougivewillgrow.com, and the website is up and running, and like I said, the shop will be up in a couple weeks with all the different t-shirts we've got going. But there's all sorts of good stuff on there. I'm going to be blogging about my New Orleans experiences, whether it's going to different eateries or, you know, going to French Quarter Fest this week, or, you know, just different things. So.
You're great at social media.
Oh, thank you.
So we have to wrap up, but before we wrap up, I just want to tell you how impressed I am with the fact that you are so involved in the New Orleans community. You've taken what you do as being a professional football player, but also incorporated it into how you make people feel good and doing something good for the community. And I think that's important, because you're so right. In New Orleans, we need to give back to the community. We need to show people, especially kids, that the value of life and how important it is for them to receive something like what, you know, you're giving them. And I think that's important, and I think you do a great job at that. So
thank you. I appreciate it. You know, like I said, it's not so much about the dollars raised, it's about getting involved, and that is the definition of community. You know, that's old school, and everybody helping in and pitching in to help, you know, great causes in the community. So
okay, one more question before we wrap up. So in a couple of months, I think it's 4 or 5 months, you guys are going to start playing football again. What's your prediction for next season so far as for the Saints?
Wow.
I know that's on the pressure on spot.
I will say this. I'm excited for the you know, we've lost some veteran guys, but we've got some great new players coming in, and we've got a really good young crew of people. But I'll leave you with this. We got a great organization, a great head coach, and an elite quarterback. So I feel good about our year every year, going into it like we're going to have a chance to do something special.
And you.
And me, I guess. Yeah, throw me in there.
Yeah, well, first of all, congratulations to you and your wife.
Thank you.
I can't wait to hear whether it's a boy or a girl.
Yep.
And good luck to you in the football year and with your nonprofit.
All right, thanks again
for coming
Chet.
on. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Guys, stay right there. We'll be right back.
My life is full of statistics. Thing is, I could have dropped out of school and become one myself, but I didn't because I had people that believed in me. Here's another statistic. 7,000 students drop out every school day. That's one every 26 seconds. It's time that students know that we believe in them.
Inspire a student and share your message of support at boostup.org.
You know, one of my favorite places to visit here in New Orleans is an Audubon Zoo. They have some great events coming up this month. And here to tell us about it, it's Stephanie Joseph. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thanks for having us.
I would shake your hand, but you have a friend here with us, so
I do.
your hands are full.
That's right. This is Clifton. He's an American alligator, and this is one of the gators that we work with in our education department. So he's a little bit smaller than the ones that you might find back in the swamp exhibit, but still large enough that we want to make sure we have a good hold on him. But this is one that we can actually touch out in our education areas.
So, you know, you have a lot of events that are coming up this month, but let's touch on something first that's very important, is the educational system at the zoo.
Yes.
And you run one of those programs there, right?
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so I'm the youth volunteer coordinator, which means that I run the Junior Keeper program, and that's a program for teens going into 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. We actually just did our interviews, and we've got about 28 new kids
Wow, that's
who are
great.
coming in this summer. And we have about 120 kids overall who volunteer with us.
Okay.
And then we also have our Eco Leadership program, which is an after-school program, and that runs September through April. And so we have those kids who are getting ready to graduate, and they're going to start volunteering this summer.
That's awesome. That's really great. Keeping the kids busy, teaching them some stuff at the same time.
Definitely, yes.
So you have a lot of events that are coming up this month. One of the big events that is for the whole city is the Whitney Zoo to Do.
That's right.
Tell us about that event, and why do you think that event is so successful every year?
Well, so the Whitney Zoo to Do is coming up on Friday, May 2nd, and it is it's a phenomenal event. Lots of food, great drinks, music. We've got an auction. There'll be a car auction as well as a silent auction, and this is a chance for people to come in, support the zoo, and really just have a wonderful evening.
And then you have the Kids Zoo to Do?
Right, and so the Whitney Zoo to Do is just for adults, but we do have our family-friendly event, which is our Zoo to Do for Kids, and that's Friday, April 25th. And that's coming up in a couple of weeks, and it's just a great time to get the whole family together. Come on out. We'll have some handheld animals out there. We'll also have lots of games and inflatables, lots of food from local restaurants, music, and just a really great time for the whole family.
And all the proceeds from both of these go to help to maintain the zoo, right?
That's right. So our big thing that we're focusing on this year for the Zoo to Do is going to be to underwrite the costs for our new lazy river.
Oh, that's
Which
nice.
is called the Gator Run, which is why I brought Clifton here.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, Clifton.
And so if you haven't had a chance to check out the Cool Zoo, it is open for the season. Really great little splash park. I mean, it gets really hot here in the summertime. And so it's a great chance to come on out, check out the zoo, and cool off. And then hopefully by next year, we're going to have our lazy river open. We're really excited about that.
It keeps changing. There's always something going on,
That's
which is a
right.
great thing. So that's why it's important that people go out and support these fundraisers, because it helps the zoo to continue to grow and maintain.
That's right.
So Stephanie, before we went on, you were telling me, I'm like, how did you get involved with the zoo? Is it a passion of yours, or?
It's definitely something, well, and like I said, we talked about the Junior Keeper program. When I was a teenager, I was a kid that really liked animals, and I found out about the program and actually was a Junior Keeper quite a few years ago now. And it was a chance to get out there, get some hands-on experience. I really gained a lot of confidence, comfortable talking to people through that program, and went on to college, got a biology degree, and worked in a couple different animal-related fields before I ended up back here. So it's really a lot of fun. It's a great, if you've got a kid who's interested in being a vet or maybe a zookeeper, this is a great chance for them to try it out, kind of see what they're really interested in. Never did I really think I would be back as a volunteer coordinator.
Right.
But I really love it. It's such a great way. I mean, it's kind of come full circle. And now I get a chance to work with those kids who are very similar to myself. So nice to see them growing up, going to college, and following their dreams as well.
That's awesome. That's great. I could tell you're passionate about it just by the way, not only are you holding Clifton, but just the way you talk about it.
Yeah.
So what other animals at the petting zoo that you guys have beside the baby alligators?
Okay, so we work with a few different animals in our Discovery Walk, and then our Shell Theater, as well as our outreach like the Zoomobile and the Wetlands Express. And so the junior keepers will start off handling animals like rainbow boas and corn snakes. We do some blue-tongued skinks and bearded dragons, and then turtles and tortoises, guinea pigs. But then we start working up to alligators. We do ferrets. We've got chinchillas. And some of our bigger snakes. A lot of really cool animals that you get a chance to handle, and you can come see all these on Discovery Walk.
That's awesome. So we're gonna have to wrap up in a little bit, but I have a couple of more questions. Why do you think it's so important that parents get their kids involved in things like, the Audubon Zoo and learn about all these animals and stuff?
Well, that's we're really starting to focus more and more on our environment. We're really starting to pay attention to what's going on around us. And it's such a great thing to start kids out at a younger age.
Right.
They're really, more and more we're paying attention to recycling and, turning off the water when you brush your teeth, the simple things that eventually become a bigger concern. And then you get these environmentalists and conservationists as they grow up, and we're trying to figure out what we need to be doing. How can we, conserve our resources, help the animals that are endangered?
Right.
And it's just a really great way, even if they're not going to be a part of the Junior Keeper program, coming out and seeing the animals at the zoo and understanding what's going on is very important for their survival.
That's great. That's great. So, can I touch Clifton?
Yes, of course.
Okay. What's the appropriate way to do it?
So we always do 2 fingers on the back.
Okay.
And the really cool thing about alligators is on the top, you're going to notice that the scales are a little bit harder. These are osteoderms. They're specially made kind of like solar panels.
Right.
So when you see alligators basking in the sun, they're soaking up that sunlight and all that energy. If you touch him on the side there, you're going to notice that he's actually a little bit softer.
Yeah, he is.
And so those...
yeah, because the top, you're right, the top and the sides feel a little different.
Definitely.
Is there something with the coloration of them? Are all gators have the same coloration, or... Really?
Yeah, so when they start off as babies, they're going to have kind of almost like black and gold. You get really excited because they're almost little saints.
Yeah.
That's right. So they start out black and kind of yellow, and as they get older, the yellow is going to start fading.
Okay.
And it's going to be this kind of greenish, gray, black color. And that's just camouflage for being out in the swamps.
That's great. Well, thank you for a great interview. Thank you for coming. Thank you for bringing Clifton.
Oh, thanks for having us.
And good luck at the zoo to do and the kids zoo to do.
Hopefully
Raise a lot of money.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll come visit.
Oh, I will. I will. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Guys, stay right there. We'll be right back.
You're watching WLAE, New Orleans Public Television. Find us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This month in Design Time, it's all about furniture. Here with me today is Michiel of Dop Antiques and Architecturals. Thank you so much for being here, sir.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me a little bit about Dop Antiques, your business. What exactly do you guys sell there, and where are you located?
Well, we're located at 300 Jefferson Highway, and we sell a variety of things, mainly antiques from Europe, but also architectural pieces like doors, windows, stained glass windows, for instance. We also have a custom-built department. We do a lot of renting to the movies. It's a majority of things. It's a big warehouse, 15,000 square feet, where we have a lot of things that will come in every 3 to 4 weeks by container from Europe and beyond. We get shipments from Egypt, India, and China, but the majority is basically antiques from Europe.
Okay, so I shop with you, so I know you have really great things, and it seems like your inventory is always changing. That's the really great fun part about going and shopping with you, because the inventory is always changing. And I like the fact that you guys do a lot of custom furniture, especially like custom tables. Tell us a little bit about your custom table line.
Well, basically, people can come in with a plan, an idea of what they would like to make They can go online, find a picture. We can design tables for them. We basically use all products, but the majority of tables that people order are made out of cypress, because it's a local wood, and people love cypress here down in Louisiana.
Okay, so you also bought us something today that you're going to kind of show us something else that you guys do at Dop Antiques. What do you have with us today?
This is just a little mirror that we painted white. It was just a a wooden mirror, and what I'd like to do today is just show you how we can distress it, make it look different from what it is. Basically, what we do is we use a little glaze this time. It's real easy. You mix it with a little bit of water, so it's not too dark. It's a black glaze.
So is this a new mirror, an old mirror?
This is actually a real reproduction mirror that we had. I taped off the glass so you know it won't get dirty. It's water-based, so even if you stain, it's real easy. So you just kind of wipe it on.
So you can basically, what you're saying is, you can basically take something that's, you know, a reproduction, something that's new, and you can give it that old antique finish or antique look to it, depending on, like, you know, what your design sense and design style and design taste.
You got it. There's a lot of pieces that come in from people that are tired of the old, you know, brown look, of the wooden look. What we do is we paint it any color, we sand it down to give it a distressed look, and then we make it look older by glazing or waxing, because there's obviously different techniques that you can do. So basically
So there's a difference between glazing and waxing?
Correct. Yeah. This is the glaze. It comes in different colors. This is a black. So you kind of wipe it on, let it dry, and it gives you a two-tone.
Right,
I don't know if you can see
beautiful, yeah. It kind of gives it that patina look already.
Yeah, and then if you want to go a step further, what we do is we can add a silver leaf to it.
Silver leaf to it.
Or gold leaf, or you can even use different colors paint before you start.
And you kind of bought a finished product, so...
I did, yeah, because it takes longer than a few minutes to
And so
to
this
do.
is the actual finished product that you did.
I did this morning, just to give you an idea of what it could look like. So it has this old patina, we added a little bit of silver leaf, just to give it a little extra. And I think it looks better than just, you know, a
So
white
do
mirror.
I love the fact that, you know, like you said, that you can take something and actually, if it's new or reproduction, and give it that old patina, that old character look to it.
Correct.
But you don't have to spend a lot of money doing that.
Exactly.
And so anybody can afford to have kind of the look they want, whatever their design style or design sense is.
Yep.
So how long have you been in business?
I've been in business since 2000. I came here, I'm from Europe, I'm Dutch, I'm from the Netherlands. Met my wife there. She took me here. I saw the market. I basically smelled the opportunity to start a business, and that's what I did. I started off wholesale, bringing containers, selling them to dealers, designers, and since Katrina, we kind of opened the doors to the public, and we've been growing nonstop, so it's going well.
That's awesome. We have to wrap up, but before we do, what's next for DOP Antiques? Like, what do you think the next thing is, the next big thing? Because you always got something going on. What do you think the next thing is?
I think, honestly, younger people are tending towards a little more modern look combined with antiques. So I think that mid-century modern is getting more and more popular, so we'll kind of bring that into our warehouse as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
being here.
Thanks for having me.
And good luck with your business.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Guys, stay right there. We will be right back.
Hello, I'm Jeff Cruaire. Join me on Thursday, May 8th for the first annual Ringside Roast at the Eiffel Society, where we are going to honor Jefferson Parish President John Young and have some fun at his expense. It's all for a good cause, WLAE TV. For more information about our roaster sponsorship and tickets, visit ringsideroast.com or call 504-669-6076. We'll see you on May 8th.
Guys, it's our favorite time of the show. It's the DIY do-it-yourself time of the show. Recently, I was asked by national retailer Bed Bath & Beyond to be an expert on how you can design your house like the pros. So today, I have your top 5 things that you can do just like the pros to achieve that look. The first thing you want to do is that you want to make sure that you use what you already have. So for instance, if you have a painting or a mirror that works really well in your house and you love it, instead of getting rid of it, what you can do is to take that painting and move it to another room and then design around that. Always remember that it's very important that you use what you have. If you save money, then you can use that money towards another type of design or some other design in your house. The second thing is I always like to tell people there's one thing that's very important in any design project, and that is lighting. Lighting is very important because you can have the most expensive furniture If you have bad lighting, then your furniture won't look great. But if you have really great lighting, you really don't have to buy expensive furniture. So things like ambient lighting, overhead lighting, track lighting, anything that's going to really help to showcase the pieces that you have in your house, it's very important. The third thing we're going to talk about is how to accessorize. So when accessorizing, what we do as designers is that we take it and make sure that we're doing it in increments of odd numbers like 3s, 5s, and 7s, like we have showcased here. Another great thing to do when you are accessorizing is that you want to be sure that you're using different shapes, different sizes, and things like metallic, something that's reflective. Also this horn frame. You know, I always like to tell people as well is that, you know, if you are in a house, there's nothing more important than to have a couple of family pictures around. So take those frames, you don't have to have a lot of them, but just take those frames and make sure that you're putting them to good use. Another great thing, the fourth great tip is that painting. Painting is so important. Now I know we talked about the colors of the year, but you don't have to do that. When you're using painting, it's very important that you use paints that are transitional. So use paints that have very low underhues to it. Taupes, tans, grays, beiges, and then you accessorize with colors of the year or colors that you really love, because this paint is more of a staple. You will likely not change your paint color, but you will change your accessories. So when you're painting, be sure that you're finding colors that are very cool and calming, and that's what you use, and you accessorize with really bright, beautiful colors. The last thing is rugs. Now you may already have a rug at your house that you love, but it may be too small. So one of the things that you can do is you can take that rug and still use it, but then you can put a larger sisal rug underneath it, so that will give you the right width of what you're going to use for your room. You know, rugs can be a big investment, but whenever you are using or buying rugs, save up for the rug that you really want. A wool rug, a nice sisal rug, and so, you know, just wait to be sure that you have the right rug for whatever you're using it for. So guys, this has been our DIY time. I hope you've gotten some really great tips from this today. I hope you've enjoyed today's show and got some really great ideas. I'd like to thank all of my guests for being here today. For more information about this episode, you can visit my blog at chetportshowdesign.com and click on my blog. Follow me on Twitter at Chet Show. Guys, I'm Chet Show, and I've got designs in New Orleans. We'll see you guys next month.